So hi everybody, welcome back sa ating formal discussion ng iyong types of leadership. This is another entry natin sa ating Advanced Nursing Leadership and Management course and playlist. Now let this be your nursing study guide. Ngayon kung hindi mo ba napapanood yung first ever video natin regarding sa Advanced Nursing Leadership and Management, where I actually discuss the concepts about leadership, like what is leadership, leadership and stuff, the differences between leadership and management. I'll be putting the actual playlist link on the description box, or whenever the icon button pops out, check the one out, because all of the playlists I have for nursing education is link in there. Ngayon, kung hindi ka pa nagsusubscribe, mag-subscribe ka na, because I wanna know if you guys are actually liking this video, if this videos that I'm creating for you, the service contents that I'm creating, is something that you find beneficial. Let me know, and that is only achieved if you're gonna like, share, and subscribe to my channel. You know what, guys. You know what I mean. And yeah, if you want me to stick around, you guys, you gotta make me feel subscribe. All right. Now, without further ado, mag-proceed na tayo. Paano yun tayo? Pasensya kasi boss ko medyo ngongo, ha? Okay. All right. So here we go. So let me provide to you the objectives for our today's discussion. Well, we're gonna discuss the types of leadership, at napakarami po nila, pero don't worry because I got you covered. I'm gonna make sure at the end of this video all of our objectives will be achieved. So the types of leadership, including based on authority retained, based on assumptions about people, the type of leadership based on task versus people emphasis, and the Likerts 4 styles of leadership, and then also the entrepreneurship leadership style. Now, all of that is going to be discussed in today's video. Now, first up, based on authority retained. So, iisa-isahin natin to. So, base dito sa authority retained, based on authority retained, we actually have three. These are the three types, subcategories of your based on authority retained type of leadership. Wag malilito ha, kasi nandito pa rin tayo sa based on authority retained. May tatlo yan, kagaya ng sinabi ko. We have authoritarian, democratic, and free reign, o yung tinatawag nating laissez-faire. Medyo familiar kayo, narinig nyo na tong mga concepts na ito? Absolutely. So, ito na tayo. Under ng democratic, you guys, we have two types. Subcategory ng democratic. We have consultative and persuasive. Don't worry, because on the following slides, on the next slides, we're going to discuss each of them, alright, in details. So, simulan natin to. Una, at italakay natin yung about sa autocratic or authoritarian style of leadership. Huwag malilito because this is under, nasa concept pa rin tayo ng saan. Nandito pa rin tayo sa based on authority retained. Alright? Iniisa-isa lang natin yung subcategory ng authority retained. So, autocratic or authoritarian style of leadership, now, under the autocratic leadership style, all decision-making powers are centralized in the leader as with a dictator leadership. Nakakita ka na ba narinig mo na ba yung military junta? O yung martial law? O yung isa lang, dictatorial na type ng pamumuno? This is what you call autocratic or authoritarian type of leadership. Now, they do not entertain any suggestions or initiatives from subordinates. The autocratic management has been successful as it provides strong motivation to the manager. It permits quick decision making as only one person decides for the whole group, and keep each decision to himself until he feels it is needed to be shared with the rest of the group. Now, it has high degree of dependency on the leader. Bakit high dependency on the leader? Kasi nga si leader lang ang nagde-decide. Wala siyang kakumpanyon, wala siyang partner sa pagdedesisyon. So this type of leadership, wag kayong dito mabahala kasi itong mga autocrat, mabahala talaga. Itong mga type of leadership na to, it applies to different types of scenarios. It depends on the situation, what is required on a given situation. Some autocratic type of leadership style can be applied to some certain situations where the leader needs to stand out and needs to make a quick decision about a certain scenario. Let's say sa unit nyo. Okay, so once again, this is your autocratic or authoritarian style of leadership. Next, participative or democratic style of leadership. Medyo nabubulol-bulol ako for today's video. I don't know why, but dead man na. Okay, wag malilito, nasaan pa rin tayo? Nasa based on authority style of leadership. Diba? Naalala mo yung graph natin kanina? Dito na tayo sa democratic style. Now, the democratic style, leadership style favors decision making by the group. Unlike sa authoritative, this one is by the group ang decision making. They can win the cooperation of their group and can motivate them effectively and positively. The decisions of the democratic leader are not unilateral as with the autocratic because they arise from the consultation with the group members and participation by them. So, ang decision making not unilateral, parallel po, meaning all members of the group are being considered. Their opinions and their voices are being considered. In terms of making decisions. May mga types tayo nito, democratic. Naalala mo yung subcategories ng democratics type at democratics? What is wrong with me? Democratic style of leadership. We have your consultative, which is the process of consultation before decisions are taken. Kaya nga consultative from the root word consult. You need to seek consultation. You need to seek advice to your members. Persuasive. Persuasive leader takes decision and seeks to persuade others that the decision is correct. Now, this type of leadership style is it's more of like parang pinsan ni autocratic. Why? Because you have persuasive type of persuasive type of leadership, which is the subcategory of your democratic style. It somehow, in a way, imagine the scenario. You come up with a decision, and then you are, trying to convince, you're trying to persuade your members to agree that this decision that you have is beneficial for the group. You're trying to convince them, you're persuading them to agree with you, to agree with the decision that you have. Malinaw ba yon? Malinaw. So once again, this is your participative or democratic style of leadership. Next, wag malilito, nasaan pa rin tayo? Nasa based on type of leadership, based on what? Authority. Okay. Now, yung pangatlo, we have your laissez-faire or your free reign style. Now, a free reign leader does not lead but leaves the group entirely to itself, such as a leader allows maximum freedom to subordinates. Now, one good example of this is that they are given a free hand in deciding their own policies and methods. Now, this can be very useful in businesses where creative ideas are important. Now, highly motivational as people have control over their working life. Also, free reign style or laissez-faire can make coordination and decision-making time-consuming. Ito yung motivational, time-consuming and lacking in overall direction. Bakit siya time-consuming? Because since a group, wala masyadong, one of the disadvantage of this is that since walang head, wala nagli-lead ng head, everybody is just the power is not really centralized compared sa autocratic to the leader. Everybody has the freedom to make decisions and everybody have the freedom to make decisions. Not really. Discussion. There's a lot of discussion involved in decision making. when you talk about your laissez-faire. Now, this relies on a good teamwork, because laissez-faire, unfortunately, will not be successful, will not be effective in a situation or in an environment where there's poor teamwork. So once again, this is your laissez-faire type of leadership, which is under your leadership based on authority. Malino ba yon? Tatlo yung diniscuss natin na meron tayong autocratic, democratic, and laissez-faire. And under ng democratic, what do we have? The persuasive and the consultative type of democratic leadership. Alright? Okay. Easy, diba? Now, proceed na tayo. Now, type of leadership based on assumptions about people. Assumptions naman about people. Okay. Now, based on assumptions about people, we have introduce ko sa inyo to, si MacGregor's theory. Si MacGregor. Sino tong lalaking to? Siya si MacGregor. So, para lang ma-visualize nyo kung sino siya. Di ba? Taray ni Kuya. So, according to MacGregor, meron siyang theory of X and Y. X and Y. Hindi yung X mo ha, at hindi kung bakit ka hiniwalay ng X mo, kundi MacGregor's theory of X and Y of leadership, type of leadership. So, according sa kanya, yung theory X, they distrust people and believe in close supervision and tight control over the subordinates. Yung theory Y, they are participative, trust subordinates, and allow them to participate in decision making. Once again, this is MacGregor's theory of leadership based on assumptions about people. Okay? Malinaw ba yon? Malinaw. Now, based naman, type of leadership based on task versus people emphasis. Nako, dito sa next slide natin dito, about sa based on task versus people emphasis, i-introduce ko sa inyo itong parang table na ito. Now, this is very easy for you to understand. Padaliin ko sa inyo ha. May 4 boxes dito. Now, you have high relationship and low task, which is based on task versus emphasis to people. Now, you will see here people emphasis, and this on the and then on this side task emphasis. So a type of leadership that is high on relationship and low on task, that gears towards people emphasis. So it's high on people emphasis. Now, a type of leadership that is low task and low relationship, which we call free reign. Free reign siya kasi, di ba, you give the full freedom, and parang wala kang masyadong, you give the full responsibility to your subordinates. That is more of like a low people emphasis and low task emphasis. Now, hence, if you go, on the other hand, if you go towards high task and high relationship, participative style, that is more on the high task emphasis. Also, if you go to high task and low relationship, that gears towards the task emphasis, because you are autocratic. Because high task and low relationship, that's on high task emphasis na. Malinaw ba sa inyo tong based on task versus people emphasis? I decided for you to make a screenshot of this. This one will be really helpful for you to study the nursing leadership style. Now, bago tayo mag-proceed, baka nalilito kayo kung bakit natin to inaaral ha. Inaaral natin to mga types of leadership because these concepts are actually proven based on studies and research. You can use this in the area depending on the given situation, what is needed in the situation. Now, I'm not here to tell you which leadership style is good and which is not, which is better and which is worse. No, because all of these leadership style that we're going to discuss and we're having for today is actually applicable to the actual setting. Once again, it depends on the people you're dealing with, and it depends on the situation that you have. Okay, some situation, autocratic style of leadership may not apply. And it goes with the other type of leadership, yung laissez-faire and all of that. So Let this discussion be your guide, your conceptual framework, your fundamentals in applying in applying or finding out which leadership style to use in a given situation. All right, so let's proceed. Likerts for style of leadership. Kilala niyo ba si Likert? Kung hindi niyo siya kilala, ito papakilala ko siya sa inyo. So this is Likert. This is si Likert. This is Likert. And according to him, he introduced four styles of leadership. Ang dami niya masyadong pauso. Eto siya, the Likerts four style of leadership. So I will introduce. Marahil narinig nyo na siya, madalas siyang lumalabas. Okay? So we have your exploitative authoritative. So explain ko siya sa inyo. Now, this system are extremely hierarchical. Hierarchy, it follows hierarchy or what we call channeling. Alam mo yung mga organizational chart, that's one good example of exploitative or authoritative because you have you have a point of person to call to, a hierarchy na mas mataas sa'yo at mas subordinates mo, with power and responsibility lying at the higher levels within the organization. Individuals lower down the system or non-managers do not influence the decision-making whatsoever and are not involved in the process by their superiors. This is due to the lack of trust between managers and employees. Communications is delivered top-down and roles are dictated. Rather than it being a two-way conversation, higher management considers themselves responsible for achieving organizational objectives but will hold employees responsible for any mistakes that are made at lower levels. Authoritarian, same thing as that. Next, we have your benevolent authoritative. Kadalasan sa board exam, binibigyan ka ng scenario and then they let you, identify which type of leadership style was being used or was showcased on that given scenario. Kaya importante na malaman mo yung benevolent itong mga concepts na ito for you to answer them. So hindi mo masyadong nagigets yung discussion, balik-balikan mo lang tong video presentation na ito. So ano tong benevolent authoritative? Now, this system is responsible. The responsibility also lies at the superior echelons of the organizations. However, instead of inducing performance through the threat of punishment and therefore fear, employees are instead motivated through a reward system. The thing about benevolent authoritative is that there's a reward system that is being involved. So you're just not giving instructions. You're not just giving orders, and then once they fail, you're gonna give them punishment. No. The thing about benevolent is that papasok yung konsepto ng reward. Once an employee or once your subordinates, your staff did something good, or something good, you're gonna give them a reward. Hence, it also gonna give punishment for those actions of your subordinates that requires to be punished. Punish talaga, napaka ano naman natin, Lord of the Rings or napaka Game of Thrones. Okay, but that's the concept. Now, superiors have more trust in their employees than do managers in an exploitative authoritative system, and therefore are more willing to reward individuals for good performance. There is more two-way communication between employees and line manager. However, upward communication is more limited and tends towards only positive information, not queries or requests. Employees will not suggest any new ideas or recommendations, which can make them more productive or satisfied, and therefore the result is lack of communication and teamwork. Yun lang naman ang disadvantage ng benevolent authoritative. Okay? Next, we have your consultative. In a consultative system, managers have yet greater trust in their subordinates and demonstrate as such by implementing ideas or beliefs that they share with their team members. There is an open level of communication through the hierarchy of the organization, and team members are often consulted during the decision making process, particularly when any changes will affect them substantially. However, the ultimate power of decision still remains with those at the highest levels within the organization. Employee motivation is fueled by incentives. Incentives, another term for reward. Now, including both rewards and possibility of involvement or even responsibility for specific tasks. In this style, employees are given greater freedom and involvement in meaningful tasks are used to boost intrinsic motivation. Now, lastly, we have your participative. Wag malilito ha, nandito pa rin tayo sa dinidiscuss pa rin natin si Likert. Alright, so Likert considered the participative system to be the most satisfying for lower level employees. So naghahanap ka ng gratification, more gratification towards the grassroots employee, the lower level employee, yung mga staff mo, ito, gamitin mo yung participative Likert style of leadership. Now, upper management has full trust in their subordinates and actively works with them as part of the decision-making process. Employees are free to discuss any issues or ideas with their superiors, knowing full well that their discussions may be will be conducive at least some kind of change. Rewards within a participative system are common, and teams are happily cooperative or with no direct competition between employees. The level of communication is high, both horizontal and vertically, and teamwork is regular. This system is generally more common in flatter organization or those which are smaller with lower tiers of the hierarchy, though it can be employed within any company. Alright? Malinaw ba sa inyo yung Likerts 4 style of leadership? Malinaw. Ito na siya. So lastly, we have your entrepreneurship leadership style. Entrepreneur. Entrepreneur, saan mo siya madalas na naririnig? When you talk about business, well, everything is about business, but this is more of like the businessy side of leadership. All right, so let's discuss this in detail. Now, entrepreneurship style of leadership is a heavy task orientation combined with a very directed approach to giving instructions to employee. So this is more of like a task orientation combined with a direct approach. Now, a charismatic personality that inspires others to do business with him. A much stronger interest in dealing with customers than employees. Customer-centered po ang entrepreneurship style of leadership. Alright? Now, a strong dislike for bureaucratic rules and regulations. Now, entrepreneurship style of leadership is has this anxiety to consolidate business gains as quickly as possible. Gains on business side. Once again, this is your entrepreneurship leadership style. Now, thank you so much for watching. I hope you like this video. Part 2 na nga to ng ating leadership and management lecture that I'm giving to you. Now, please like, share, and subscribe to my channel for more nursing educational videos. Let me know if you have other nursing topics that you want us to do. Comment it down below. Abangan nyo nga po yung mga other nursing video lectures natin sa mga susunod na araw. And thank you so much for making this all happen. We've been really growing. None of that will happen if it wasn't because of you. Thank you so much for all your trust. Tulungan nyo na nga po ko, pamalitan nyo na sa Radyong Sira, ang pinakabago, pinaka-fresh at ang pinaka-libreng nursing review center sa balat ng YouTube. And I'll see you again next time. You have a good one.